好，大家好，我是 John Stevenson 超越教育创办人。我今天是有一个好朋友从 Oregon 大学 Oregon 州大学 Oregon State University 过来 Casey Gillick。我们今天是要大家分享那个 Oregon State 的好处给那个台湾的学生，还有希望你们可以学习，因为他们最近有一个非常大的2亿美金的一个 Collaboration Innovation Center 是金城荒那个 NVIDIA 的老板跟他的太太是帮他们投资，所以我觉得这是一个很好的机会给台湾的学生跟那个家庭，所以我希望你们可以听。Hi Casey, welcome to Taiwan. Everybody here is happy that Oregon State and that you could come and visit.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks.
Good. So the first question I think is kind of this new, I think it's really exciting, like Jensen Huang and his wife, the NVIDIA founder, have donated $50 million US, and I think it's overall $200 million kind of collaboration and innovation center. So I just kind of wanted you to talk about how is that going to really kind of set Oregon State University apart from other universities in this AI kind of race?
Yeah, so Jensen Huang was a graduate of Oregon State University back in the 80s. He met his wife, Lori, there. And they still have a very deep connection with the university. And so they help us inform our faculty, meet with our deans and our leadership. And since NVIDIA is one of the world leaders in developing AI semiconductors, he's making sure that we understand how that technology can be employed, especially in education. And so this new center, as you mentioned, about $200 million investment, will have a supercomputer that'll be one of the most powerful in the entire world as far as any education system goes. And this will be conducted for our students to be able to learn with, for our instructors to be able to teach with, and then for our researchers to actually conduct groundbreaking research.
Yeah, I heard that, like even Harvard or Yale, they don't even have a computer like this. This is going to be like, it's a special investment.
Absolutely. Powered by NVIDIA chips. The processing center will produce so much heat, it's going to heat half of our campus.
Wow.
So we're using that renewable energy. And,
that's a very Oregon thing. So that's awesome. So you guys are using the heat generated from the supercomputer to warm the campus.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. So in terms of Taiwanese students at Oregon State University, have you... how do they fit into the community? I know there's a lot of Taiwanese students at Oregon State, like for the last few years. Like, how do they kind of fit into the community? What have you noticed about them as students?
Yeah, I love our Taiwanese student population. They're super active. They've got their own community group on campus where they put on events for each other and kind of cultural events for the entire campus. But what I've really noticed is it takes them just a couple weeks to kind of adapt and get a little bit more comfortable being open, communicating with their professors and things like that. But once they do, they're really able to step outside their shell, become very active participants in the research internships that we have on campus, the student clubs and events and things like that. And then they really go on to do great things. And I'm actually here to meet with alumni. We've got probably about 4,000 or 5,000 Taiwanese alumni.
Wow.
And so it's really fun to get to hear their stories about what happened after their university.
Do you know by chance how many percentage of those alumni actually work in the semiconductor or in the computer science and engineering field?
It's such an important industry in Taiwan. And so we have a lot of students that either do their optional practical training, so their ability to work in the US at a company like Intel or NVIDIA, and then come back to Taiwan and are able to enter the industry as well. But, when you look at a company like NVIDIA, yes, they need a lot of computer scientists, they need a lot of people in electrical engineering, but they need just as many marketing people and business analytics. And so actually we see a lot of our students going into other fields, still working for those big tech companies, and then finding employment when they get back to Taiwan.
Oh, that's interesting. So what kind of advice would you have for Taiwanese families out there that are, maybe they got the student that's, just starting in high school, but they have their eyes set on getting an education in the United States. What kind of advice or how could they prepare before they come to the Oregon State?
Yeah, of course, take your studies seriously. That's really important for everyone in high school. Those grades do matter when you're getting into university. But really, the advantage of a U.S. degree is the opportunities that exist. And so when you're a student, you're so much more than someone just sitting in a classroom listening to the instructor teach. You're getting the chance to do internships. This might be where you work for Intel. You're able to move up to Portland. You work in their facilities. You get to know their engineers and their their company, you get the opportunity to join clubs and activities. We have a robotics club where our students are able to do national and international competition. So there's so many opportunities for students. And so I really challenge students to kind of think about taking advantage of the time that they're at the university and using every single one of those university resources.
It's kind of interesting you talk about, so this is a good question from at Beyond Education. A lot of times we're talking to students, and I think that in Asia, the grades and the SAT are like, you've got to really focus on those. But maybe you could talk a little bit about well, I always say there's 3 pillars to getting into a university in the United States. One is the grades, and you need to keep on those. But there's also this kind of character and talent area, right? And then just kind of your passions. Like, can you talk to parents a little bit maybe about how to prepare, from you as a international, you work with a lot of international students. How important is that for a student when they're applying to the United States?
Oh, it's so important. We're really looking for not necessarily the best student, but the best fit for the student.
Yeah, that fit. That's I guess that's good. That's what I'm trying to figure out is like, how do we communicate that to parents? What's a good fit for Oregon State?
Yeah, so we want students that are really passionate about what they're going into or passionate about learning what they want to go into, because in the US you can always change your major. We want students that want to make a difference in the world, that are thinking about the effects of their work on the community, on the environment, so they're living and working in a sustainable way. We want students who are excited to join a community and work together to collaborate with people both in their major, outside their major, everyone in the community.
And how do you, on an application, I remember one time talking to an admissions officer from another university. He said that in Asia it was really hard with the Asian applications. So everybody pays piano, violin, or the cello. They all have a 1,500 plus SAT, and they all have really good grades. So what are the things that maybe students in Taiwan could do to kind of like set themselves apart? Do you have any advice?
I think it's really about finding your voice. And so for students, what that means is like making sure that they're speaking from their genuine selves and what they really want to accomplish. That's what we're looking for. And all of those qualifications that you mentioned are absolutely wonderful. That's part of who they are. We want to know about it. But we're really looking for them to be able to speak to why they want to come to OSU, why they're a good fit, and what they really want to do after they leave OSU.
So it's not so much about your accomplishments, but so much more about who you are as a person and what you want to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Great. Well, I thank you for coming. I hope you have a great trip here in Taiwan, and I know we're excited that you're here.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Hopefully more and more students will be going to Oregon State.
Wonderful, thanks.
Great, thank you.